So before we move on, Andrew, one of the things that's happened in this new market is that there's been a whole rash of new players that have gotten into the space. At their summits last year or this year, sorry, we're still in 2020, 2025. Snowflake and Databricks announced their own sort of semantic layers. I think that Snowflake calls it semantic views. I think Databricks calls it metric views, which they kind of look at the semantic layer as views, which I don't agree with, but whatever. And then we also have some of the modern sort of BI platforms that are trying to get you to shift right. So you got the platform vendors who are trying to shift the semantic layer left. You got some of the new modern BI platform vendors who want to shift you right. And for me, I started the company because I really felt that the semantic layer shouldn't live in either of those two places. So, what's your perspective? I noticed that those vendors have not made the cut. I think they're probably too new to actually be even evaluated. But what's your sense for what these vendors are trying to do here when it comes to semantic layers?
Yeah, so first of all, just be aware we're pretty formal and pretty rigorous in terms of what we include and whether it is in general availability or not at the time we're doing our research. If it's still in preview and we're in our research phase, it can't make the cut by definition. It must be a shipping fully supported and finalized product or feature. And in the Snowflake and Databricks cases, that was a factor. But also, we're looking at universal semantic layers here. So even though you do see some vendors that have their own platforms that are independent of semantic layers, they still have an offering that can work with lots and lots of different data sources and can behave that way. Shift left, look, it's fine. Shift left, shift right. As long as you get into the semantic layer game, I think that's way better than not being in it at all. Because if you don't have that and everything's just kind of do it yourself, uh, end user oriented, throw a bunch of tables together and have fun, that's flexible and flexibility is good, but it's not going to give you the rigor and discipline you need to make sure that your analytics and your AI are being looked at consistently and accurately across the enterprise. So get started however you want, but once you're past that entry level, once you're past having kind of a basic semantic layer in your proprietary platform where your analytics may live, or even your AI, you're going to need something that's agnostic and that's truly universal, that pulls things in from across the spectrum. And some offerings do that, and some offerings don't. And the ones that do are part of this report, and the ones that don't are not. And that's because our table stakes kind of enforce that.